Hi, welcome to our first episode of Pissed Off Moms. I'm Jill.
I'm Tiffany.
And this is our first episode. We hope you'll stick with us and invite your friends to join. It's an open forum. We have a fan book page.
Facebook.
Fan book, Facebook,
whatever.
Page.
We have a Facebook page.
So look us up on there and post comments, ideas. So, and would you like to tell them the topic of the day?
Yes, we're going to talk about corporal punishment. Should we whoop their ass or not?
Well, we technically wouldn't be whooping their asses.
Well, if we went to school, we would be whooping their asses.
Yeah, that's kind of some of the comments. So.
Okay. The thing is, what's your opinion on it? What's your take on it? Do we need it back in school, or do we need to just leave it alone?
Tiffany and I are not going to always agree, and you're not always going to agree with us, and we welcome your opinions. Just remember to respect everybody else's opinion. We all have opinions, and we just need to be respectful as we debate these.
Okay, my opinion of it is it needs to be done. It would be harder in the high schools because the kids are, they're not going to tolerate that. But if you did it early age, by the time they get to high school, that's what they're going to be used to, like it was before. And I feel like as a parent, if you don't want a certain person spanking your child, then you go to the school and do it. That's my view on it. I pretty much got on my Facebook, pretty much everybody responded was for it. The really good concern was, what if I don't, want my child being spanked by somebody? And of course, go to the school and do it. If you're not willing to go to the school and do it, then that's the school's job to step in. And if you don't want your child spanked, I feel like there should be stricter suspension or so on, detention for kids that parents opt out of that. But,
I kind of like the 3-strike policy, where your kid gets in trouble for the same thing once, or is doing something really bad once. They get a warning.
Yeah. They
get a second warning. Third, second warning, the parents probably call. If it's something serious. Third warning, the parents called and said, look, you want to come up here and discipline your child in front of us, or would you like us to handle it?
And actually, it's worse. If you discipline the child and at the school, what's going to be worse? The principal spank me or my mom come and spank me? It's totally going to be worse.
And I've actually told my child before, if I find out they're lying to me about something, I will come to the school.
Or sit in a classroom with them.
In front of the entire school, I will spank them,
Yes,
there's nothing more humiliating than your parent coming to school and dealing out some harsh punishment.
And then if your child's damaged, it's only your fault, not school.
That's true. However, we all know, and a lot of the people that responded, especially since this is our first webcast, and so most of the people that responded are already friends of ours and probably feel pretty much about things the same way we do.
The interesting thing I found was there's actually quite a few counties in Blount County, not Blount County, we're Blount County.
In Tennessee.
In Tennessee, there's quite a few counties in Tennessee that actually use corporal punishment, and it's kind of like a hush-hush thing. And that makes me wonder, why we don't. We have a huge bully problem where we're at. And, what we're doing now is not working. If you don't agree with corporal punishment, let's go back to it at least until you can find what does work. Because what we're doing now is not working.
No, I think you'll see over the generations that people used to respect their elders a lot more than they do today. Today, the kids fear no one. They don't fear their parents. They don't fear the administration. They don't even fear the law.
Yeah.
In a lot of things. And our camera ladies over there are putting up stuff on a whiteout board that's about this big. Okay? We're old. We can't read that.
I'm still clinging to young.
And that's from the woman who had to have her husband bring her other contacts.
On the way to our meeting, I lose my contacts, so I'm lucky I have 2 eyes to do
and
this.
And you were late. Our first production meeting, she's late.
Yeah, well, I'm a mom. Most of the teachers that don't want to openly talk about it, most of them are for it and want it back in the school because they have no control.
And a lot of people are afraid to talk about this issue because they're afraid of the repercussions.
And we don't care.
No, we really don't. We are pissed off moms, and we're just tired of it.
And we don't care.
I agree. I think it needs to be in school. I would prefer to be notified first. I would like to,
And if you don't answer your phone, too bad, your kid's getting spanked.
True. And as long as there's appropriate and the right kind of procedures to ensure that some teacher who just doesn't have a grudge against your child is just grabbing them up and whacking them. I see nothing wrong with it. I had a first grade teacher who actually had a ruler and would go around, and if you misbehaved, she would take your hand and she would smack you with that ruler.
Were you in Catholic school?
No,
Oh,
this
okay.
was public school.
Really? Wow.
Public school. You forget though, I'm a dinosaur, unlike yourself.
Yeah.
So, but ironically, and she liked me, and my parents liked her, and
That board is going out.
yeah. This is the last time we'll use this camera lady who's holding up her signs with stupid comments, but that's okay. So,
I was suspended a lot in school. Yeah. And that was
never
great.
suspended. I was such a goody
I was such
goody.
a bad kid, so that
Well,
was
that's what I
very
was
so good.
saying. I never got in trouble. So at the end of the year, this teacher actually came over to me with her ruler and said, "Give me your hand." And of course, I was in first grade. I
See,
was
if you
a
acted
goody
up all the
goody.
time when you
I
did something
gave-
little, it wasn't no big deal. They were used to it.
But I gave her my hand and she whacked me with that ruler, and I just looked at her. She's like, "Well, that's because you didn't know what it was like all year."
I would have taken the ruler.
And I was like, I was devastated.
Yeah, I was very rebellious. But I love suspension. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. It was awesome. That's the best thing they could have gave me. You're suspended. And I'm like, really? That's all you're going to do to me? Now, I never had a paddling in school. I think because my mom was so against them doing that. And I had free reign. I mean, I really did. I mean, I hate to say it, but, Mom, I don't like this teacher. They're begging me. Mom was up there. Don't touch my child. Leave my child alone.
They paddled in my school.
Yeah, they did in mine, but they didn't me. They just suspended me.
No,
Which didn't work because then I stayed home and had my little parties.
I can also say I don't remember anybody ever getting suspended, but I do remember them getting paddled. And I mean, the worst thing that could have ever happened, which I'm like you, which we're kind of good. You're the rebellious one. I was the goody goody. I never was. Don't tell on me. I never got in trouble. I mean, I really was just, the typical do what you're told. And I never got paddled. But I'll tell you what, fear of that, probably, and my parents, actually, I would have rather have gone to the principal and gotten paddled than for them to have called my mother. I wouldn't have cared if they called my dad.
Yeah.
My mother was a disciplinarian, and my God, I did not want the wrath of my mother. I'd have been like, please paddle me, but
the hugest thing that could have happened to me would have been the paddling, me go home, expecting my mom and dad to be furious about it, and them saying, that's what you get. That's the best thing that could have busted my bubble.
yeah.
And a lot of times you do, when it's your kids, you want to say, not my kid, not my kid. And we need to get over that because we have a huge problem in school right
I
now.
agree, and I've always been one that,
And any child's capable of anything. If someone called me and told me one of my kids did something, I am going to drill them first before I drill the person so they do it.
Absolutely. And I've been known to be in that position, and I've done it. And my kids, I love my kids. My kids are good kids, but my kids aren't perfect, and I'll be the first one to say they're not. That's why they're kids, and that's why we're parents. Mm-hmm. They're going to make mistakes, and we're supposed to be the ones who recognize those mistakes and guide them through that so that they become good, productive citizens of society. I'm not doing my job as a parent.
Yeah.
If I'm not teaching
and
them
a lot
what
of
they're
kids
doing wrong.
and a lot of kids learn on their own, like I did. But you don't want them to wait until they're grown to think, oh my gosh,
No,
what was I thinking?
What
was I thinking? And they tried to discipline me in school, but I don't remember paddling at all. I don't remember, which I probably needed.
She did.
And yeah, definitely. Some of the teachers needed paddling too.
That's true.
That's another show. But so far, pretty much everything that we have gotten has been pretty much for it. I think you had a little bit against.
I had a little bit against. I think, a lot of the people felt that it should start at home, and they're absolutely right.
Oh, yeah.
But we all know that there's a huge problem that...
But if it doesn't start at home, what do? Just let the kids bully all the other kids? No.
Exactly. And the teachers need to have time
And I don't
to
have
teach
time
the
to
kids.
come and correct your kids. I don't have time to raise your kids too.
Well, we need to wrap up the show. So let's say that next week, what are we going to talk about? What will our subject be?
Right.
Free grades. So we'll
Free
post
grades.
up on the fan page on Facebook. Look us up, Pissed Off Moms on Facebook. And
If you have suggestions for shows, please let us know.
Yep, we're always looking for
we
suggestions.
have a list really long, but eventually, well, I don't think it'll ever run out. But we will incorporate yours in too. Because we're here to be your voice too, so.
And I'm Jill, and this is
Tiffany.
And we are Pissed Off Moms, and we know there's a lot of you out there, so let's be heard.
All right.
See you next week.